I was 13 the first time I heard the footsteps. It wasn't the kind of night where you expect anything strange to happen. No thunderstorms, no flickering lights, no creaky haunted house nonsense. Just a cold Thursday night in November, in a quiet two-story house in a sleepy suburb outside Minneapolis. My parents were out, Dad had some client dinner, Mom tagged along, and wouldn't be back until late. I had the house to myself, which back then still felt like freedom. I made hot chocolate, wrapped myself in a blanket, and curled up on the couch to binge those low-budget ghost shows. You know the kind, night vision, whispers, people freaking out over cold spots. I wasn't scared. I wasn't even thinking about ghosts. That changed around 9:30. The episode ended, and I turned the volume down. And that's when I noticed the silence. Not just the absence of TV noise, but this dense, almost hollow stillness. No hum from the fridge, no distant cars. It was like the house itself was holding its breath. Then came the first sound. Thud. A single heavy step from upstairs. I froze. The sound had come from directly above me, my parents' room. I told myself it was the house settling, maybe the dog. But no, Bella was with my grandparents that week while they were away. Thud. Another footstep, heavier, deliberate. I muted the TV, thud, thud. Whoever, or whatever it was walking across the upstairs hallway, right above me, headed toward the top of the staircase. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just stared at the ceiling, heart pounding in my ears. Then I heard it stop, right at the top step, like it was waiting. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, and called my mom. She didn't answer. I texted her. "Are you almost home? I think someone's in the house." No response. Another footstep, this one, on the stairs. I ran into the kitchen and grabbed the biggest knife I could find. It felt too big in my hand, too awkward. I had no plan, just fear. I flicked off the living room light and crouched behind the kitchen island, staring toward the dark staircase. One footstep, then another. Slow, methodical, creak, creak. They stopped about 5 steps down. I swear I could hear breathing. Not loud, but the kind of quiet wheeze someone makes when trying not to be heard. I whispered, "I've called the cops." I hadn't, but I needed them to think I had. No response, just more silence. Then I heard the sound of something shuffling, like a coat brushing the banister. I caught a glimpse, just a shadow, something tall and wide moving at the edge of the stairwell. I bolted, slid across the kitchen floor, knife in hand, and locked myself in the downstairs bathroom. In that tiny space, with the door locked and my knees pulled up to my chest, I tried calling 911, but my hands were shaking so badly I fumbled the numbers. I pressed the emergency call button. While it rang, I heard it. Footsteps, slow, heavy boots on tile, coming toward the bathroom. They stopped right outside the door. Then, tap. 3 slow knocks, not pounding, not angry, just deliberate. The operator picked up. I whispered into the phone, trying not to sob. Told them someone was in my house. They said units were on the way. Then silence again. When I opened my eyes, I noticed something. The shadow beneath the bathroom door, it was facing the wrong way. The feet, if they were feet, were turned sideways, like the person was just standing there, staring at the door, waiting. 5 minutes passed, maybe more. My phone buzzed. My mom sent a message. "We're pulling into the driveway. What's going on?" I texted back in all caps, "Do not come in. Call police. There's someone inside." She didn't reply. A second later, I heard the garage door open. The second that sound hit, those footsteps, they ran. I heard them bolt back up the stairs. Then, silence. My dad burst into the house with a crowbar. Police followed seconds later. They searched everything. No one. No broken locks, no forced entry, no signs of anything taken. But the back window in my parents' bedroom, it was unlocked. And right outside it, muddy boot prints, fresh, leading in, but not out. I didn't sleep in that house for weeks. Police never found the person. No fingerprints, no DNA, nothing on the neighbors' cameras. My parents thought maybe I imagined it. Stress, a nightmare. But I know what I heard, what I saw. The breathing, the shadow, the footsteps on the stairs. I know I wasn't alone that night. Even now, more than 10 years later, I can't sleep if I hear the stairs creak at night. I keep a bat next to my bed. I triple-checked the windows, because the scariest thing isn't what I saw, it's what I didn't. It was a quiet evening, just like any other. I'd spent most of the day running errands, picking up groceries, and dealing with the usual chores. The sun had set hours ago, and the apartment was settled into that familiar stillness that only comes late at night. I had my earbuds in, playing some mellow music to unwind. I was scrolling through my phone, feeling the exhaustion from the day, when I thought I heard something, a soft giggle. At first, I thought it was coming from the TV or maybe a neighbor's apartment, but no, it was coming from inside my bedroom. I pulled out one earbud and paused the music. The silence was thick and heavy. Then I heard it again, the giggle, quiet, childlike, almost playful. I froze. My heart started pounding in my chest. I had to be imagining it, right? Maybe my sister was home early and playing a prank on me. She'd always loved scaring me with stuff like this. I pulled out my phone and called her. No answer. I texted her, "Hey, you home? I just heard laughing from my room." No reply. I didn't want to believe what I was starting to suspect. I stood up and walked toward my bedroom door. The closer I got, the more the giggling seemed to fade, like it knew I was coming. I opened the bedroom door slowly. The room was dim, lit only by the streetlight filtering in through the window. Then I noticed the closet door. A narrow crack was open, just enough for a sliver of shadow to show. I stepped closer. My pulse hammered in my ears louder than anything else. The giggling stopped. I took a deep breath and pushed the door open. Inside the closet crouched a man, naked. His skin was dirty, pale in the shadow. His eyes were wide and wild, darting around like a cornered animal. He didn't say anything, just stared. I was paralyzed for a moment. My mind scrambled for what to do. Then suddenly he moved. His hands grabbed for me and I screamed. I bolted for the bedroom door, heart racing faster than ever. My hands were shaking as I grabbed my phone and hit the emergency call button. Behind me, I heard the intruder stumbling out of the closet, chasing me. I slammed the bedroom door shut and locked it, gasping into the phone to tell the operator what was happening. Minutes later, the police arrived. They found the man hiding in the closet, disoriented and silent. I stayed with a friend for days after. The feeling of safety in my own home was shattered. Every closet, every shadow made me jump. That night changed everything. You ever get that feeling your house is holding a secret? Not in the movie sense, no hidden treasure, no ghost in the mirror, just something wrong, something off. When you live alone long enough, your brain learns to tune out the usual house noises. Pipes, settling, wind. But now I wonder if I tuned out the wrong things. It started with a sound I didn't think was possible anymore. The sharp ring of a landline phone, coming from underneath my house. This was about a year ago. I was 24 and had just moved into an old craftsman-style house outside Tacoma. It was a rental, but cozy. Hardwood floors, old windows with that wavy glass, even a built-in rotary phone mounted on the hallway wall, the kind with the long cord that could stretch into the kitchen. It didn't work, or so I thought. I'd had it for 2 months when things started to feel wrong. It was subtle at first. Little things, like the hallway light flickering randomly, a faint smell like earth or mildew near the laundry room. The crawl space door was in there, a little square cabinet set into the wall near the floor. I'd opened it once when I moved in. Low ceiling, dirt ground, cobwebs. Creepy, sure, but sealed, or so I thought. The first night it rang, I was asleep. It was 2:04 a.m. I remember the time exactly because I checked my phone immediately. The sound jerked me out of a dead sleep. A ring, a ring. At first I thought it was my cell, but it was unplugged and charging. The ring was too harsh, too old. I followed the sound barefoot across the wood floor. It was louder near the laundry room. I opened the door. Nothing. Then, another ring, but softer now, muffled. I crouched by the crawlspace door. The ring was coming from behind it, from beneath the house. I didn't open it. I just sat there, frozen, until it stopped. The next morning, I called my landlord. He laughed. Said it was probably a glitch in the wiring. The old phone line was still active, maybe rerouted weird from the street. But, I asked, why would it ring down there? He didn't have an answer. Said it was probably echoing through the ducts. I told myself it made sense, but deep down, I didn't buy it. 2 nights later, it rang again. This time it rang 3 times. I started locking the laundry room door. I taped the crawl space shut. But the ringing kept happening. Always at night. Always at 2:04 a.m. I tried calling the number on the wall phone using my cell. Got a disconnect tone. I even had a friend stay the night. She heard it too. We sat there, wide-eyed, while it rang beneath our feet. But the worst part came a week later. I came home from work. The crawl space door was open. The tape had been sliced. I didn't go near it. I ran out and stayed at my friend Rachel's that night. We went back the next morning with flashlights and pepper spray. The air inside the crawl space was wet. Close. The smell was worse than before. We scanned the dirt floor. Nothing. Then Rachel froze. "Over there," she whispered, pointing. Half buried under a loose board was a cheap flip phone, still on, battery light blinking. It was taped to the underside of a wooden beam. The recent call log showed one number. Mine. The phone had been used to call the landline. From inside the crawl space, I called the police. They searched the whole area. That's when they found the rest. A blanket, empty water bottles, a granola bar wrapper, and a sleeping bag. Someone had been living under my house. Police never found the man, or woman, or whoever. They said it was probably a transient, someone slipping in through a loose vent or the foundation slats at night. But here's the thing. The crawlspace door locked from the inside. I hadn't opened it since I moved in. Whoever it was had been there the whole time, watching, listening, calling me from beneath my feet. I moved out that weekend. I check closets now. I check vents, crawl spaces. Every time I hear a strange sound, I stop and listen. Not for ghosts, but for the things that hide in places we never look. The things that wait for us to stop paying attention.